So, I was quite aside from being trans, I was a huge nerd growing up. I used to collect comic books, like really obsessively. I even bought my first car with a comic book. I have this box of comics that I got out of my grandmother's attic that was, had this one comic that was worth a lot of money. One day my best friend, who worked in a comic book shop, predictably enough, was going through these comics, and he pulled out this one, and he was like, hey, this is worth a lot of money. And I'm like, well, how much? Because I was 16, I figured like $100. He's like, no, this is worth $1,200. And I said, wow, I'm buying a car! And so I took that comic and a couple of other comics from the box, and there was some weird stuff. There were like some old Thors and this old Marvel series called What If, where they would have things, alternate reality stuff like, what if the Incredible Hulk was a drag queen? And, fun stuff like that. And I took these comics and convinced my dad to take me to this comic book convention in Boston. And I remember walking into this convention and looking around and thinking, oh my God, my people! It was this giant convention center filled with like all kinds of nerds. There were people in costumes and like dressed like the green aliens from Star Trek and dressed like Superman, like real skinny geeks dressed like Superman, looking all muscular. and I sold comics and I went home and I bought a 1981 white and rust Buick Skylark. Thank you. But I stayed pretty obsessed with comics. One of my favorite things that I looked forward to was going to my dad's on the weekend and going to the comic book store to pick up my subscriptions, which was just like a stack this high of all sorts of comics. And I particularly loved the X-Men, because as a young trans person, I could totally identify with the X-Men. They were these mutants that society hated and feared and nobody really understood, including them, and they were trying to figure out who they were and how all this stuff worked, and I would always imagine being one of them, but I never wanted to be the cool superheroes like Wolverine with his adamantium claws. I wanted to be Dazzler. If you don't know Dazzler, you can totally be forgiven. Thank you, you do. Basically, Dazzler's superpower is she could make a light show, and she wore spangly disco outfits, which I thought was cool. And in life imitating reality, imitating art and shit, I actually became a nightclub lighting person when I was in my early 20s, so fuck yeah. And today, I have, a lot more realistic superpowers, aside from being, super sexy hero. I'm also, my main superpower really on a daily basis is I am a super tall girl. I can reach things off the top shelves for little old ladies in the supermarket. And if you invite me over your house, you better fucking clean on top of the refrigerator. So, this brings us to our next play, and we now join a press conference already in progress for the newest superhero group, the Sci-Fighters!
Hello. We'd like to thank you all for coming. We hereby introduce the fresh face of justice. Villains and bad guys beware. There's a dynamic new crime-fighting team in town, the Sci-Fighters.
The what?
The Sci-Fighters.
It's a play on words. What words?
Like TIE fighters?
So you're both bisexual?
No.
I am.
Bi, as in there are two of us. Sci-Fighters.
Okay, maybe the name's a work in progress.
Don't say that, I like the name.
Let us let's introduce ourselves to you. I
am Invisiboy. What? You said I could go first. I have the power to make other things invisible to my own eyes. Behold.
We can still see you.
But I can't see you.
What?
What?
What can't you see?
You! I have the power of invisibility coursing through my veins, making things invisible to me.
Incredible.
Don't startle me like that.
So how long does this last for?
Oh, just as long as I wanted to. I am in complete control. I can now see you again, human.
So are you not human?
Oh, no, I am.
So how is this useful in fighting crime?
Excuse me?
This ability you have, how is it useful in fighting crime?
Oh, well, you see, well, I can, let me introduce you to my sidekick
partner.
and partner. This is...
I am Mental Girl. I have the ability to read people's minds.
What number am I thinking of?
Well, it doesn't work like that.
What song am I thinking of?
Well, that's basically what he has.
How does it work?
I can read certain thoughts.
Like when someone is thinking about committing a crime.
Yes, sort of.
Sort of?
Not necessarily about to commit a crime, per se.
So what kind of thoughts can you read exactly?
Dirty ones.
Dirty ones? Like sexual ones.
Yes. And, sir? Hi. Can you cut that out? It's really distracting. My tits aren't that big.
So you can read people's sexual fantasies.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I've never even heard of that before.
Let's get on with our mission statement, shall we? Wherever there is injustice...
Are you two romantically involved?
Yes.
No.
What? I thought we agreed to maintain a relationship status for our super alter egos.
Well, I've decided that I'm not comfortable with that.
Why? Because of that guy?
No. I just don't think it's healthy to pretend to be in a relationship when we no longer are. My therapist agrees.
Therapist? What therapist?
Dr. Donald.
You're still seeing our marriage counselor?
Sometimes.
Well, I hardly think that's fair.
You're the one that chose to leave our therapy sessions.
Well, that was because I could tell that you were reading his mind every time it was my turn to share.
You are just paranoid.
Yeah, well,
Are we about done here?
no. Our mission statement. Wherever there is injustice, we swear to combat it to the best of our physical capabilities within the letter of the law.
That's it?
Well, that's a pretty noble mission, don't you think?
It seems a little standard, and besides, you don't look that physically fit.
I told you we should have joined the gym.
Isn't this just about you being a vigilante?
No, I'm very pro-village.
There's no story here, just two people in homemade t-shirts. One guy who basically has the ability to do what we can all do when we close our eyes, and his sex-starved ex-wife.
I knew society would shun us for our abilities. Nevertheless, we have vowed to defend and protect it.
You do know the initials on your shirt also stand for irritable bowel?
Look here. We have gifts, okay? And you should just feel lucky that we've chosen to use them for good instead of evil like so many others.
Gifts? Sparkman has a gift. He can set things ablaze by snapping his fingers. Colossal Woman, she has a gift. She can lift a Mack truck over the top of her head.
Heck, even that lame villain, the Stillinator, can freeze people just by looking at them. You two just have oddities. Let's get out of here.
Halt! Be still!
Oh no, the Stillinator!
I can't move!
That's right. And after I rob you of all your cash and jewelry, I'm going to cover you in glue and furs.
Why?
Because I can.
Do something, mental girl!
Boom!
I'm stuck.
Ha! give me that lovely break.